Hey, what's going on, guys? Brown Superman's Comics. So I realized it's been like forever since I've done a comic haul video. I bought some comics. I haven't bought some comics. I probably bought more than I should have, but for the purpose of this video, I do have a lot of comics, but I'm just going to show kind of some highlights that I've picked up over the past months. Baltimore Comic Con, pre-orders, LCS, eBay. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the video. So I'll start with Baltimore Comic Con. Great con, by the way. If you haven't been able to make it, make sure you go. It's in October of 2019. 18th to the 20th, I think. I'm not sure. I have to look up the dates again. But start planning now. Great con, especially if you like comics. They actually have comic books there. It's not like Wizard World or some other ones that you might know of. But either way, hey, enough talking about that. Let's show you some books. So I got this Power Rangers variant, and I actually had it signed by Marguerite Bennett. She was there. Awesome. Fun to talk to. She signed it. Very personable. So I was glad to have that. And I got this Harley Quinn Frank Joe variant. I got this signed. I didn't have him sign it. He was there. He was busy. But he had a box of already signed variants there. And this was $5. So I went ahead and picked it up. Love the cover. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Christmas variant from last year. But hey, $5, can't complain. Next, these are all dollar bin. Sunday, last day of the con. Picked all these up for $1 a piece. Some of them I've never seen before, don't even know what they are, but I was like, hey, $1, I'll get it. So, picked this one up. Transformers variant. Witcher, getting ready to be a Netflix show, so I figured why not for $1. Of course, huge Masters of the Universe fan, so picked up Eternity War, $1. Another great one, 3D Rocky Bullwinkle. I was like, what the heck, dude? I like Rocky and Bullwinkle. 3D, $1? I'll take it. Next thing we got is a Thor comic. Picked that one up. Astonishing X-Men variant, right? Yeah. So like I'm telling you, I saw a price tag that said $15. I was like, $1, I'll buy it. But then this one, of course, huge Phil Noto fan, so it was $1 also. Picked this up. Astonishing X-Men. Looks like Terry Dodson cover. Picked it up as well. All these were $1. Another Witcher book. A couple other Witcher books. Those were $1. This wasn't $1, but I picked it up at Aftershocks booth because it was a great book. Came out, I mean, it was at the booth at the con a week or two before the comic actually released. So I picked this up there. And when I got this, another book I got coming up, I picked up an extra copy at the booth as well. So that's what I got pretty much at Baltimore. Didn't buy too many comics. Was trying to film. Thought I was getting good footage, but I realized even with the DSLR, you kind of need a gimbal. Yeah. I mean, because it's like looking like you're, for me filming my big ass, it's basically like you're off-roading through the con. It's so I apologize for that. Appreciate everyone that's watched those videos. If you haven't, I'll put a link to the description of my Comic Con videos if you guys want to watch it. But yeah, I'm learning. Gets better as we go. So next we have just some books I've been picking up. I'll start with the most recent. I've picked up 2 copies of the DC Comic Cavalcade. Great cover. Horror anthology type stuff. Pretty cool. Picked up 2 copies. Actually, one's for a friend. Just haven't given it to him yet. So I'm showing it off here like, yo, these are mine. But either way, hey, one's for me, one's for my buddy. Let's start separating these out. Next, we got the Tedesco 1 in 50 Spider-Geddon Zero variant. Love this cover. Book may or may not do anything. Either way, glad to have it. I paid, I think, $38 for it at the time. I pre-ordered it, but I didn't pre-order it. It was like 2 weeks before it came out. I was like, hey, can I get this? And they were like, sure. So that was from my LCS. Next, I got this Chamber of Chills reprint. It's a replica edition. This came out, I don't know, probably a few months ago. I got it off Midtown. It was $14, but wish I could afford the original. Awesome cover. Classic. Misfits album copied this. So I was glad to have this, even if it is a replica. So next I got, one was a pre-order, second print of Walk Through Hell #1. Great book, Garth Ennis. And then again, like I said, I picked up a second copy from the Aftershock booth when I was there at Baltimore. So I'm going through them kind of quick because I got quite a few books. Because like I said, I haven't done a haul in forever. This one I also picked up LCS. Those Hanna-Barbera DC specials are back. You'll see them in my weekly picks every now and then. This is one of the few that I actually really like. Joker, Daffy Duck. Love the cover. Love the book. Great story. So I appreciate it. And these books here I picked up from mycomicshop.com. Bunch of $3 to $5. Probably the most I spent was $10, but I was glad to pick these up. This is got this just because Killer Art Germ cover, Birds of Prey. These are classic books from my childhood, and these are the Batman, the Death of the Family, Death of Jason Todd. So I picked these up. They were I think between $5 to $10 a piece, so I was glad to get those. Perillo, everyone's loving Perillo right now, so I picked up a couple of his Queen Sonya book, and that was like $4.50 at the time. This one is Batman. Glad to have this because I like it because it's got J. Scott Campbell and Darwin Cook, both some of my favorite artists. So I was glad to get that cover. Next we have, this is a more recent book. This is the new Elvira. This is the Michael Linsner Virgin variant. So I pre-ordered this from my LCS. It was $15. PC type book. Probably won't do much, but I love the cover. And like I said, nostalgia drives me. So grew up with Elvira, so I was glad to have that. Another pure nostalgia book, Marvel 25th, the frame. Holy cow. Either ways, everyone's aware of these, but this was $3 on my comic shop. The classic Snake Eyes. And these I didn't get from my comic shop, but I got from Chris Sabella's website. And this is right after Shanghai Red #1 came out, and right before Crowded was coming out. He had flip books on his website, and they're signed. And basically what it is, it's each book, it's a couple pages of each issue, and then it flips over to read a couple pages of the next issue. So it's basically, the book looks like this, but it'll actually kind of be like this. So it has this on one side and then this on the other side. So you flip it and read a couple pages of each story. But they're on his website. Picked them up. They were $10 each. Next, everyone knows, or if you don't know, huge Masters of the Universe fan. So I picked this up. This is not DC Comics Presents 47, but this is the actual Matty Collector version. Got this on my comic shop. I think I paid $90 for it. Very fine, near mint. They got it graded as a 9.0. Looks pretty close to it. This comic actually came in a toy that had the action figures for the DC Presents. You find it out there. It's got Superman and He-Man duking it out. Look on eBay. I've been watching them, trying to get one for a decent price, but it's in decent condition. But I don't feel like spending $150, $200 for one. But I'm glad to get the book that came in it. Then I got, of course, this is from my comic shop. This is the movie adaptation version of the comic. Very fine 8.0. I got this for, I think it was like $6. I usually don't pay more than $10 on my comic shop for books unless it's something I really want, like which was like this. But this is my comic shop also. I got this right around the time, I forget which store was doing the exclusive for the Adam Hughes Vampirella. Got this on my comic shop. It was $4. Classic Vampirella, classic Adam Hughes. I like this better than that cover that he did, so I got this instead. And then, of course, these were picked up a while back. This is all Josh Middleton goodness. Got these when it came out. One, not when it came out, because I had one in my hand, but there's a guy in the comic store that's like, recognized me from YouTube. He was looking for one, so I said, here, man, take my copy. I'll get one another time. So, my buddy Mel Vaughn, if you're watching Principal Defects podcast, he said, hey, I got like 6 of them, I'll hook you up. So he sent me one, and then like 2 days later, my comic store said, hey, one of our subscription box guys didn't want it, so he put it back. Do you want me to hold it for you? So I ended up with another copy. So, Comic Karma? Yeah, without twipping. I can't talk. But, hey, Comic Karma saved the day. I ended up with 2 copies. But, and of course, some other Josh Middleton covers, Aquaman, another Batgirl, And then some Donny Cates goodness with the Venom #3. And I'm also a fan of Vault Comics. They put out some great stories. And this is the Submerged #1. This is the variant. It's a store variant. Came from 5Kid Comics. I like it because it's Vault. It's a #1 issue. And it's also an homage to Submariner #1. And they sent it in well protected. They actually sent it in this top loader, which is actually really cool. And if you look on the back, I don't know if you can see that or not, but they have a little card on there, and it's actually numbered 72 of 150. So that was pretty cool. I got 2 copies of this. I sent one out to Patreon member, so thought that was pretty cool. Speaking of Patreon members and my love for Vault Comics, I do have a Patreon member, Rajim Seabrook, who lives out there in Montana near Vault, and he hooks me up with some Alien Bounty Hunter autographed books. These are signed by Adrian Wassel, who's out there at Vault. Great guy. He's on Instagram as well. He's like one of those guys is like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. He's always like climbing rocks, hitting punching bags. But either way, dude's phenomenal. And Rajim, thank you so much. These are PC books. Love this story. Love Vault Comic. A lot of people hate on Zenescope. I kind of like some Zenescope books. I mostly like their cosplay variants, but I also really like one of their artists, and that's Paul Green. He does a lot of the cosplay variants, a lot of exclusive variants. So, not only do I like Zenescope, I'm a VIP. Yeah, there it is. This is Brian Wood, VIP. And basically, it's like the rewards program. It was like $99. I figured I spent enough money there anyway, so pay $99, get this awesome lanyard, show you, so I can walk around like Wayne's World at the Alice Cooper concert. You get a little rewards program. It's got all their little cool. So as you spend money, you get points, and then you can get stuff out of the rewards catalog. You get early sales. You get early access to their exclusives. So I figured, why not? So people hate on Zenescope, but I appreciate on Zenescope. And within that $99, they send you a couple of their VIP exclusive variants. And one is Paul Green. So the other guy, I can never pronounce his name. Alias Chatsu. Man, I'm horrible with names. If you watch my weekly picks, you know I suck at names. But I just call him. This is from George. But this is from Paul Green. Alias Chatsudis. Dude, I'm sorry I'm screwing your name up, but love your art. So it comes with those. Then they also give you a little VIP print. And why did I join their VIP? Because I buy their cosplay and their variants. So I got like 2 of their cosplay, the Disney variants here. I bought 2 more of their other Disney cosplay variants, Mickey Mouse. And like I said, I like Paul Green. So I got a bunch of Paul Green variants here. Christmas one. Couple more. I mean, I like Paul Green. But, so, got a bunch of these. Stick with me here. I'll go through them pretty quick. Same thing. Of course, I'm buying some. This one I didn't get from Zenescope. I got from my comic shop. And it was like $3. But it's Paul Green. And, of course, more Paul Green goodness. This is the Oktoberfest variant. This is the most recent one. And another one of the most recent ones that's not Paul Green, but Masters of the Universe cosplay. So I picked this up. 25. It was actually 20 with the VIP early access on there, so I picked that up as well. So yeah, people hate Zenescope. I like some of their stuff. And I got a free Paul Green print at Baltimore Comic Con for being a VIP member, so it was great. One other last floppy real quick. I got House of Waxwork #1. Great book. I love horror comics. Picked this up. I actually pre-ordered this in previews on DCBS. I think it was $1.79. So I pre-ordered like 3 copies of that. Sent a couple out to Patreon members, but love the artwork, love the cover. But hey, either way. So I'm babbling. So almost done. And I got some graded books. One of my favorite, especially for Halloween. It's Halloween time, but this one, one of my favorite Frank Joe Harley Quinn variants. Love this cover. 9.8. Got this on eBay. I think it was $34. So I think it's classic. I mean, Witch, Harley, good stuff. This one got on eBay as well, especially with the Spider-Verse movie coming out. I wanted this book when it first came out from Fiona Staples, but didn't want to pay that much money. I thought the book would go down in price some. It never really did. So found this. This I got from Comic Kings in Virginia on eBay. I was originally buying one from my buddy Sean Leggett, who I didn't realize until after I paid for it that it was Sean Leggett from CBSI. He was really cool about it. He said, dude, there's another one that's a little bit cheaper on eBay. I'm going to refund it once you buy from him. So good looking out to Sean, because it was an impulse buy, and I just snagged it real quick. Refunded my money, got one for a little cheaper. And then I had the floppy of the Masters of the Universe motion picture. I also ended up with a 9/8 of that. And you may or may not know I am trying to complete the 1986 Star Marvel run of Masters of the Universe 1 through 13 and 9/8. So I picked up a couple more. I got number 3. I got number 7. And great thing about these, some of these are newsstand. You may or may not care about that, but hey, I get them either way, whether it's newsstand or not. I just need the 9/8. And then I also got the number 12. This one I was hunting for a good while. I saw one in Baltimore last year. I was like, I don't really have the money. Then I was like, I'll go back the next day and see if I could talk them down a little bit. They pulled the fire alarm that morning, so I didn't go back. And for a year, I was searching on eBay, and there was one up there that was a little too high for what I wanted to spend. But I waited, and then like 3 weeks before Baltimore, one came up on eBay, and I went to auction, and I ended up winning it. And now I was like, man, I wonder if I spent, I think I paid $249 for it. So I was like, oh man, I wonder if I'll end up seeing it at Baltimore for cheaper. Well, I'm glad I bought it, because I didn't see any at Baltimore. So this is one I searched for a year and a half. Got it.
Mission complete.
So those are all the graded books. One last thing I got for you. This is Punisher. This is like my favorite run of Punisher, and I got the Volume 1 Omnibus to the Punisher Max. It's still wrapped in cellophane, haven't cracked it open yet, but definitely one of my favorite runs in Punisher. There's Volume 2 for it also. I'll probably end up picking up. I actually ordered this on Amazon because I had gift cards, but it's a little bit cheaper if you're looking for it on InStockTrades.com. But I got it. It's my favorite run. This, and I got the Frank Miller Daredevil Omnibus, so love it. Winded. Appreciate you seeing all the comics I got. Try not to make it as long between comic haul videos, because that way they're not as long. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.